on someone.
Always trust my gut.
Hello and welcome to Gutted. I'm Aleece.
And I'm Tony, and we're here to spill our guts about horror films. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We have another Guess the Ending for you.
In this episode, we will try to guess the ending to cult horror movie Braindead.
Mr. Huffenkamp? How's every little floating thing?
There is a limit, even to the imagination.
Halsey was working on something big. Cornerstone technology.
Where our greatest creations meet our deepest fears.
Came out in 1990, directed by Adam Simon, who will later gift the world with Carnosaur in 1993.
Not to mention Carnosaur 2, and did he do Carnosaur 2 or 3?
I don't know if he did. He definitely did the first one.
Yeah, definitely did the first one. Braindead is also produced by Concord, which is a Roger Corman company. Braindead has a couple of Bills on the bill. You might know them as Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton.
Yeah, the two Bills.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Can you literally see what I did there?
Yeah, a couple of Bills on the bill. You may know them, Pullman and Paxton. That's what he wrote. Complete with ... or no, just ...
I put all the ... dots in there. Those mean suspenseful pauses.
Yeah, but you only put 2.
Oh, then it's not that much suspense.
If you haven't seen Braindead and you want to play along, it is currently streaming for free on Tubi or with a subscription to Night Flight or Shout TV. Watch about 42 and a half minutes, press pause, and come up with some of your own predictions for the ending.
Aleece, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite Bill movie?
Like out of Paxton's and Pullman's filmography?
Could be anything.
Any movie with a bill.
With a bill, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. Which Bill is in that one?
Duck Bill.
Duck Bill. Got you.
Yeah. No, I don't like Howard. I've never seen Howard the Duck, actually. I enjoy While You Were Sleeping.
I knew you were going to say that.
From the 90s, starring Bill Pullman. And people have recently said that this film is toxic. I don't care. I still really like it. It's very cleverly written.
It's just a movie. You know what film is really toxic? Independence Day.
Why?
Because the aliens blow up the Earth, and you know there's tons of lead and all kinds of chemicals and all kinds of stuff from the debris and dust of the alien explosion. So that's definitely toxic. Do not breathe in building dust.
I feel like the lead and asbestos in the air post-alien invasion is the least of your worries.
Well, hey, still toxic.
Oh, like literally toxic.
Yeah.
Okay. So another Bill Pullman movie, which is why it was referenced, because Bill Pullman is the president in Independence Day.
Yes.
What's your favorite Bill Paxton movie?
I would say it's somewhere between Twister and Weird Science.
Ooh.
Although Weird Science is an interesting one because I used to love that movie growing up. Watching it now, it is maybe...
Pervy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little pervy.
I don't know if it holds up in the same respect with just how the world is these days.
I haven't seen it in a very long time, and now I'm wondering if it borders along the lines of Obsession, like the message that Obsession was trying to get across.
What, like little teen boys lusting over some supermodel lady and creating a woman in their image?
A woman in his image, their image.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is definitely a horny teen movie, but you know, it's still lovable. So
yeah. Haven't seen it.
Maybe
so I
might
can't
be
say.
problematic. I used to watch that movie all the time.
Interesting. My favorite Bill Paxton movie is Predator 2. No, hold on. Let me think. I did really like Twister, but I also liked Apollo 13.
So many good Bill movies out
Near
there.
Dark. Okay.
Near Dark, another good one. Bill Paxton or Bill Pullman, or when they're both in the same movie, then it's like, score. We just hit the lottery here.
Yeah.
And I knew about this movie because it featured both of the Bills, and it has a really cool DVD cover with the like face stretch.
I have right here.
Yes.
We purchased this.
We bought this quite a while ago, and I've been wanting to watch it for quite some time, but we've been saving it for a Guess the Ending for a while. And now the time is finally upon us.
We can finally watch it, or at least we've watched half of it.
We've watched the first half. So yes, that is an excellent start.
Yeah.
And at the time that I first heard about this, I didn't know that it was the same writer director as Carnosaur. We were new to that franchise and absolutely love that one. If you want to check out our review of the entire Carnosaur trilogy. Search on YouTube, Carnosaur Gutted Horror Podcast, and you will find out why it is so amazing.
Another great 90s movie.
But on to Braindead.
Not to be confused with Braindead, aka Dead Alive, from Peter Jackson, which comes out a couple years later, 1992, I think.
Yeah, which I only ever knew as Dead Alive, and I've only recently come to know it as Braindead because apparently the US title is Dead Alive and the title overseas is Braindead.
Because not to be confused with 1990 Braindead.
Do you think that's why they changed the title? I wonder if that's why. That would make sense. I don't know how popular this movie was when it came out.
I feel like Peter Jackson especially would be like, oh, we can't have it called Braindead in the US because a Roger Corman produced film is already called Braindead in the US.
Yeah,
So
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, anyway.
I see what you did there.
I hate that phrase.
Expressions that Aleece hates.
I see what you did there. Like, did you? I didn't do anything.
I saw the words coming out of your mouth.
Literally talking. Just talking.
And I watched it.
Okay.
So I see what you did over there.
Cool.
All right.
So Bill Pullman plays Dr. Rex Martin and Bill Paxton plays Jim Reston.
In this movie, we also have George Kennedy.
Oscar winner George Kennedy.
Yes, from the movie Cool Hand Luke. I don't know if I've seen that. I feel like I have, but I don't remember if I did.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But I have seen Naked Gun and Airport, which I love him in those movies.
Yes. Yes. Was he nominated for Airport? No, I think someone
Was he nominated for Best Actor for the movie Airport?
I think people were nominated for Airport. And I just didn't know if he was one of them.
Wow.
I have to fact check this.
It must have been a tough year for movies back then.
No, Airport was quite a franchise hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is interesting, though, that he's in Airport and Naked Gun, which is like the parody of Airport. Right?
Okay, so Airplane is the parody of Airport.
Dang it. Okay, I messed that up.
Naked Gun is a parody movie parodying all those cop films.
I think I was mistaken here. I think I was thinking of Airplane the whole time you're saying Airport. And I was just like, wow, he's in that one.
Okay, no. He is in the Academy Award Best Picture nominee Airport.
Got it.
And he was not nominated for Airport. However, several people were. Helen Hayes for supporting actress, Maureen Stapleton for supporting actress, screenplay, cinematography, art direction, costume design, best sound, editing, and score. See, Airport was quite a film in 1970.
And I remember watching that recently. I think you bought it.
I bought the whole pack.
Yeah, and we watched it and I don't know. I don't know if I would give it all that. But
well, my favorite Airport is the one where they're underwater. Christopher Lee's like a deep sea diver. It's great. I love that movie. I think Linda Blair's
Must
in
have been a rough year for movies that year.
Maybe Linda Blair's not in it. Somebody's in it. Some kid is in it. Anyway.
All right. So in Braindead, we also have Bud Cort, who you may know as Harold from Harold and Maude.
My knowledge of Harold and Maude is that it is referenced in Something About Mary because that is Mary's favorite movie. And I was like,
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen Harold and Maude.
Never seen it.
I need to watch that. I know it's like a huge cult classic.
I think it is. And it's like a big age is just a number. You can date whoever you want because I think Maude is elderly and Harold is quite young. How old is Harold and Maude? I don't know, actually. I'll watch it one day.
And then you also might recognize Bud Cort from the movie Coyote Ugly. I know I don't, but when I looked up what he's done, I noticed the movie Coyote Ugly and I had to mention it.
I cannot place his face in Coyote Ugly.
He's in a lot of other stuff too, but I just thought that was funny.
Is he like a rowdy bar patron?
He's one of the dancers that gets up on stage.
On the bar?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You don't remember that part?
Yeah, they played Pour Some Sugar on Me and he doused himself in something sticky sweet. The character Dana Martin, aka Bill Pullman's wife in the movie, is played by Patricia Charbonneau, who was in Manhunter. I can't place her face. And
I don't know if it was a big role or a small role. I can't remember. I just noticed that she was in some other movies that were popular around that time. So Manhunter being one of them. I think that came out a little bit before, right? Like late 80s.
Silence of the Lambs came out in 91, and I believe Manhunter probably came out before.
I want to say it was like 1988, but yeah, we could look that up. And then K2, another one of my childhood forgotten gems. I used to love this movie. It is about
Everest?
No, K2 is a mountain that is called K2.
Yeah.
So I used to watch Cliffhanger and
I loved
K2.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, I love both.
I
Those.
never saw K2.
That's like a hidden gem. Well, I need to go back and rewatch
I will
that.
definitely watch K2. I love Cliffhanger, so K2 must be up there. Get it? Anyway, Manhunter came out in 86, so it does predate Silence of the Lambs. Cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was 80s. All right, so what's going on in the first half of Braindead? We have watched the first half, and I will say it has been fantastic.
Has it piqued your interest?
Oh yeah,
Hooked
definitely.
ya? Good. Okay, so we have Dr. Rex Martin, played by Bill Pullman, and he is in the brain business. He has been experimenting on brains, and he has this whole beautiful wall of precariously placed brains and jars suspended in fluid on the wall. And his, I don't know, lab lackey at one point tries
His assistant,
Okay, his assistant.
lab lackey.
Sorry.
Wow, way to disrespect the position.
It's because this guy's obviously not a very good assistant. He's like messing around with the face that's all spread out that we see on the cover here.
That's why he's the assistant.
Why? Because he's a lackey and not very good at his job.
Yeah.
You can be good at your job and be an assistant. Anyway, this kid, obviously some nepotism here because he's not doing a very good job at all. And Bill Pullman's like, go get me that brain from the top shelf of this awful system that we have here in this lab. And so he gets on the very top of this ladder that slides along the shelf and doesn't go any further. And he reaches for this brain and crash goes a brain onto the ground. Splat. Yeah. And that's when we get some insight into Dr. Rex Martin's character, how he sees all of these brains as people. He's like, they all have stories. We can't just, treat these as specimens, as they are people. It's a who.
He says something like, they all have lives, have souls. It's a record of a life.
Yeah.
And yeah, he does. He talks to them like they're his friends.
Yeah.
And he also places them precariously on that shelf, which is...
You're right. It is his system, so it's ultimately his fault. But still, the lackey could have been a little bit more careful.
But what was really cool about this opening scene was that we do see the cover image of this like face that's stretched out. It kind of looks like it's on a mirror or it's on some sort of plate. And the assistant is prodding a brain, which is totally disconnected from this face. And then the face is like moving.
But connected by wires.
And it's a really cool effect. I don't know if they use an actual person for that effect, but it looks very weird, and
I think
I love
they
it.
do because the eyes are very human. It's not like like little eyeballs, like mechanical eyeballs rolling around.
Yeah.
So somehow they did this effect. Good job, film.
And so Dr. Martin, he is particularly interested in people that have some sort of mental illness like schizophrenia, paranoia. So he's especially interested in paranoiacs at the moment. So that's when his assistant is like going for the brain. He's asking for someone who suffered from paranoia.
Yes. And then later on, we see that he's giving an interview to some woman and he quotes Hippocrates. And we all know that doctors take the Hippocratic Oath. And it's like, do no harm, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, apparently Hippocrates also said that madness stems from wetness on the brain or moisture on the brain. So that might come up later. Interesting. And then enter the other Bill Paxton. And he comes in all cryptic and he's like, there but for the grace of God go I.
But they're like old schoolmates, right?
Yes. They went to college together and we get all this backstory within a few lines. And Bill Paxton, whose name is Jim's like, you got to marry the hot lady who is the most attractive and smartest girl in school.
Because she's in love with your brain.
Yeah.
Get it?
Oh.
See what I did there?
Stop saying that.
You are the one who put it into my head, so now I can't stop saying that.
You said it first.
Oh.
However, before we started recording, I did say it's one of my most hated lines. When I hear people say that, I see what you did there. Because often it's said after someone says a really obvious pun. When you say stuff like that, you like lower your voice and you slow down
and look at you and wink a couple times.
And I say, aha. Got it. But
and then
you follow up with, see what I did there. I'm like, obviously I did, because I said, aha.
And then when you tell me a pun, then I just stare off blankly.
It's
and
true.
Do not acknowledge
so
anything.
It does warrant me to say something, because often Tony has no reaction.
Just bad processing,
just in
general.
My golden puns.
Yeah, maybe I need some brain prodding by Dr. Martin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Continuing on. So Jim has visited his friend Dr. Martin because he's like, hey, I work for this big corporation, Eunice Corporation, and one of our accountants has all these numbers in his head and we need them. I need you to go visit him at this sanitarium and try to either extract these numbers or wipe his brain clean.
Are we using the word sanitarium anymore? Is that a thing?
Well, in 1990, he actually called it a mental hospital.
Mental hospital?
Yeah.
Like, how times have changed.
Yeah.
What is it? Lakeside or something like that?
Lakeside, yeah.
Mental institution. And he's a genius who went insane. He's also paranoid. He's the perfect
specimen.
The perfect brain for
Perfect brain, Dr. Martin.
Yeah.
And more about Halsey, this guy at Lakeside Sanitarium. He's a genius, but he went mad and killed his wife, his 2 kids, and 3 lab assistants.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he killed a bunch of people.
Oh.
Later, when we talk to Halsey, he's like, Conklin did it.
Yeah.
Conklin slept with my wife on a mattress. Because Conklin is like a mattress, firm, mattress.
And we're thinking, is it his paranoia? What's going on here? We don't know the backstory, but we do know that he's instantly buddied up with Rex, with Dr. Martin. And Dr. Martin's like, hey, can I do some brain experiments on you? He's like, is it going to pay any money? No? All right, let's do it.
He's like, I'll take it.
His only stipulation is that you're not spying on him for his wife, his lawyer, or his employer.
Yeah, he keeps referencing his wife when we know that his wife is dead. So he must not know that he killed his wife.
Yeah.
Yes. So interesting little connections and associations or disassociations that we're getting here.
So what's the deal with Halsey? Like, why is Jim Reston, aka Bill Paxton, so interested in this guy?
Because he's got numbers.
What are the numbers? Have we figured out? We don't know what the numbers are. He has some sort of numbers that are the key to some sort of cornerstone technology, although we might guess at what that might mean.
We don't
in our
know.
predictions.
All we know is that he's got the numbers. And so
he's got the numbers.
They're very vague about this. And when we were first watching it last night, I was like, wait, what numbers? And Tony's like, I don't know. And we rewatched the first half again this morning. I'm like, okay, they're being vague on purpose, kind of like cheeky about it. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of this book that I read from Franz Kafka in high school called The Trial. In this book, I don't remember much about it because
that's the one where he turns into a cockroach?
No, that's Metamorphosis.
Oh.
But I did not read Metamorphosis. I read The Trial in high school. And it wasn't required. I read it on my own. And
Look at you reading Kafka on your own will.
I honestly think I only read it on my own because it was referenced in, well, the book was not, but Kafka was referenced in Congo.
This is pure Kafka.
Who's Kafka? Tell me!
Who's Kafka? That's why you read it? Wow.
And I was like, I should read something from Kafka. And I found The Trial. And I was like, I'm going to read this. And I did. And it's one of those strange, surreal books where the main character, K, is pursued for this crime that he says he didn't commit. But we never find out what the crime is. And we were just like, what did he do? Not even Kay knows. Kay's like, what did I do? I didn't do it. I don't know what it is, but I didn't do it. So nobody, not even the main character, knows what this crime is throughout the entire book. And that's what this reminds me of, where it's like these numbers. No one really knows what these numbers are. I mean, I think
you don't think they're going to tell us right after the second half? That usually happens when we stop at the second half. We have all these questions that are answered within the first minute after we hit play again.
I'm going to say no. I mean, that's not one of my predictions, but my prediction is that no, we will never find out what these numbers are because the numbers are inconsequential. They don't really matter to the plot of this film. All we know is that they are important and these high head honchos want them. And it all seems very like surreal, like a dream. Like if you think about the plots of your dreams, like certain details like don't make sense. Like why do you want these numbers?
Yeah. So
doesn't matter.
Yeah, something interesting going on here. We also know that the Eunice Corporation is interested, or at least Jim Reston is interested in pitching this idea of developing a commercial behavioral modification program that can be sold like plastic surgery to enhance people's lives.
Yeah, because Paxton does say in the boardroom at one time, he was like, cosmetic surgery was the most successful industry of this year, blah, blah, blah. But what if we could do cosmetic surgery for the brain? Re-sculpting and restructuring the brain, changing the memories that you didn't like as a kid to make them more appealing.
Yeah, what does that sound like to you?
Like
if I
substance?
like a movie from the 80s that this could have been inspired by.
Well, I think I re-sculpted that out of my brain because I can't remember.
Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a sci-fi element to this. There's like a paranoid element to it, maybe a Kafka-esque element to this.
It feels very Kafka-esque.
So it's some psychological horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of these things seem to like be coming into play. And then the Eunice Corporation logo is the infinity sign. So I was like, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah. Dr. Martin's lab has an 8. It's room number 8, but the 8's always kind of wonky.
It always goes on its side.
It reveals
and turns
the
into
infinity.
The Eunice Corporation
a lot of things
sign.
to add to our prediction. Okay, what about this scene where Rex walks out of his office with a brain in a jar? And these jars are like cookie jars. They're like glass cookie
They're
jars.
Not sealed
They're not secure.
Properly.
He's just walking out.
Walking to the parking lot and some man who looks a bit unstable and unclean. He's like, that's my brain. You've got my brain. And he gets into a wrestling match with Bill Pullman or Dr. Rex Martin. And Martin's like, this is not your brain, sir. I can assure you. And then
is it?
Is it? A car comes out of nowhere and slams into Bill Pullman and the brain goes flying and smashes on the ground. We see that it belonged to a James Rafferty who had schizophrenia.
And they paused on the James Rafferty for quite a while. And I was like, why are they pausing so long? And we don't know a James Rafferty at this moment.
We don't.
There was also another line, a small line. You can't change your predictions now. You already wrote them.
Okay, I'm not changing them.
Just kidding. You can change them at any point. You can do predictions off the cuff.
I'm just saying James, the nickname for James is Jim.
Oh, but his name is Jim. What's his last name?
Rexton? Jim
Reston. That would be a bit of a stretch.
Jim Reston, Jim Rafferty.
Anyways, what I was saying is, I don't know if you noticed, but I thought I'd heard a small line when one of the brains was spilled in the lab that we could grab some solution with more gel or gelatin to kind of like put the brain back together. So even though the brain splatted all over the floor, maybe it could be put back together with this gel.
It's not a lost cause. I mean, who's to say that we would still have, the best functioning brain afterward, but we could use it for something.
Yeah, and you never know. So that could come into play. Ooh, see, when you're guessing the ending to these movies, every little detail raises an eyebrow and gives you some sort of clue into what might happen. Often we're looking a little too hard, a little too deep into it, and then it throws us way off. But anyways, these are great details anyways.
Okay, so Dr. Martin wakes up and he's like, oh, what a terrible dream. And wait, something else happens after that.
He gets hit by a car.
I know he gets hit by a car, but something happens before he wakes up from his
He's
dream.
just like scratching. Yeah, he kind of comes to and he looks like he's in a daze and you can hear these voices that are being muttering. And he's walking out to his office and he walks into his office and there's another scientist in there, another brain guy with his own even more bumbly lab assistant.
Ugh, the worst lab assistants here. They really need to vet their assistants better.
Yeah. And he's just talking about how, I'm going to need your office now. So you might as well clear out all your stuff. My grant just doubled and,
Yeah, and your project is done. I can keep some of your brains for you, but I only want some of the endocrine system or whatever, the brain stems. And Dr. Rex Martin's like, no, you can't have my brains. These are people with stories.
These are my friends.
They're my friends.
And for no reason, okay, this is like one of the most bonker scenes is like for no reason at all, the assistant who's up on the rolling ladder is going to grab a brain and then just starts going, whoa, whoa.
And both panels of these brain shelves topple over, smashing all of the brains. And for me, this scene really bothered me because I'm just like, oh my goodness, what a mess.
We're neither of these metal shelves that were like probably 12 feet high
None of them
secure.
were anchored to the wall. Oh, man.
Someone call OSHA, please. That is the
1990.
occupation of safety and health and something like that
Yes.
for jobs.
Yeah. And then Dr. Rex Martin wakes up. He's like, oh, what a terrible dream. Wait, was it a dream? Maybe the car accident was a dream also. And his hot wife, Dana, is next to him. She's like,
Of course, she's like in full lingerie.
yes. She's like, oh, yeah, Jim did say that you were acting weird earlier. And Martin's like, when did you talk to Jim? And he's getting all jealous.
Wow, so
super
paranoid.
jealous. And she's like, calm down. He's my friend too. He's like, oh, great. Anyway, he is getting a bit paranoid.
Yeah. So yes, you could tell something's off with him now. And he's also sort of put in this tough spot to work with the Unis Corporation. I don't think he really wants to because he sees them as the big corporate, unethical practices.
Yeah. However,
He is intrigued though.
he's intrigued, but he does say to Jim before he goes into the boardroom, he's like, you blackmailed me. And Jim's like, you're going to thank me when you're the head of neuroscience stuff. I don't know.
That's what happens when you sell out.
When you sell, well, he didn't sell out on purpose. All of his brains were smashed.
You can't choose to sell out. You're forced to sell out.
He was forced to sell out by his college buddy, Jim. So he goes into the boardroom and the board's like, so what are you going to do? Like perform some lobotomies? And he's like, well, it's like a nicer, gentler lobotomy. Let me show you. And he's got Halsey in the little white room. His head is shaved. His brain's exposed.
He looks like a ice cream cone.
He looks like a little ice cream cone. And Dr. Martin goes in there and starts prodding at his little brain. And he does a really good job of twitching. And I don't know, I just thought that Halsey was doing a great job.
And mind you, this whole operation is being performed live in front of the board, who has the two-way mirror action going on in this completely white room. Why do they have that in their office? Are they always doing some sort of experiment in there, or just like holding people captive in this room?
Yeah, it's like product testing.
Product testing, yeah.
They have to literally test this product of brain sculpting and observe the happenings. Anyway, so when Dr. Martin's prodding at Halsey's brain, Halsey doesn't say any numbers, but he does say many other suspicious scenes like, oh, there's the man, black and white and red all over. And we pan over to some cackling, maniacal man wearing all white and splattered with red blood.
Is he Conklin?
Is he Conklin?
We don't know. You'll have to wait for our predictions.
Yeah, Halsey's former employer, who he claims killed his wife and two kids. And then at one point, we do see his dead wife and two kids.
Yeah, on the beach. So he's, like, as his brain is being prodded in certain spots, he has these hallucinations. So the first one are these two elderly ladies, and they appear to be twins, and they're doing like a tea time, and he's talking to them.
And they're like, where's your wife and kids? And Halsey's like, they were killed. And like, oh no, that's terrible.
And then the next hallucination, he's on the beach, and you see his dead wife
family.
and kids.
And then the last one, it's, I think Halsey believes, the murderer of his family. And then Dr. Martin sticks his prod all the way deep into the brain until Halsey forgets the bad memory.
He's done his brain mapping, and there's the little green area that is supposed to control the paranoia aspect of the brain.
And then Dr. Martin's like, do you still see the man? And he's like, what man? It worked. Success. Resounding applause. Yes.
Movie over. Roll credits.
Movie's
Happy ending.
done. Halsey is no longer paranoid, and he was successfully brain sculpted. Except for Dr. Martin has a dinner appointment later on that evening with Jim, Dana, his wife, and George Kennedy, who plays the chairman of Unis Corporation.
Yeah. And something's not quite right with Dr. Martin. He seems like he's becoming paranoid himself.
Yes, he thinks people are following him. And then he tries to get in through some gates and he pulls out his wallet, but it's Halsey's wallet. He has
Which they
Halsey's
swapped earlier.
They swapped earlier when Halsey's like, hey, can I borrow your wallet to go buy some cigarettes? I need to have your wallet in my hand though.
He's got like Monopoly money inside.
Yeah. I think it's Conklin dollars. Yeah. He's got Conklin dollars and his ID, and somehow he swapped it. Jim is doing a great job pitching this whole brain sculpting idea to the chairman of Unis Corporation. And then Dr. Martin starts acting kind of kooky, and he's like, I'm a purple people part. I'm a people person.
Some sort of synapses are misfiring in his brain now.
Yes. Yes. And then somehow he makes George Kennedy's character upset, who storms out of the restaurant. And Jim's like, you're finished, Martin. Oh, you ruined the deal.
But why?
I don't really know.
They had a great pitch. It was the new U.
By Unis Corporation.
Yeah. And so I'm wondering if U is spelled EU.
EU, the new EU.
The new EUA. Maybe you need an A in there. I don't know.
No, and it's EU, NICE.
Maybe it's like the new U, capital U.
Yes.
And then it's
new
Unis.
U by Unis.
Yeah.
And yeah, George Kennedy's character loved it. I think his name is Vance.
I feel like
Vance.
they'll come around on the idea.
They'll come around.
That's my prediction.
It's $1 million entity here. And then just before we press pause, Dr. Martin gets in his car and drives off, and he sees the laughing man, the man in white covered in red. He sees him on the side of the road trying to hitch a ride.
Yes.
Looks kind of like
Passenger.
that came out recently. And then he ends up in the back seat of Dr. Martin's car.
Not quite the same jump scare as Passenger,
but
that
still
would've been
ends up
cool.
in his car though. That was interesting.
So I wonder if Passenger was inspired by Braindead,
Yep.
or if this movie has, or if this scene has just been done multiple times before,
Maybe
sort
it
of like
has.
passing up someone on the road and you see them again,
There
you see
they
them
are,
again.
the
I feel like that
backseat.
has probably been something
has
that's been done throughout.
But that's where he pressed pause.
This is a short movie, so I think we only watched 42 and a half minutes. And it just zipped along. I don't know. How did you feel about the first half of the movie?
Yeah. Okay. So I definitely had to watch it twice to pick up on all these little clues that I think they're dropping.
You watch it the first time just to watch it, just to experience it. To
But
have
also
fun.
we're like
the second
taking
time
notes.
we're taking notes. Yeah. So
No, the first time I'm taking notes, and the
Oh.
second time I'm just watching.
I was
it.
taking notes the second time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we have different.
You have to watch it
processes.
twice. You can't watch and take notes.
You really can't.
Yeah, it's like distracted watching. It's like if you're watching a movie,
And
but
you're
you're on your
texting,
phone and you're on Instagram,
scrolling, you're
or you're in the
missing.
movie theater and you're like, I'm halfway through this movie. It sucks right now.
And you're writing your letterbox review right then.
It's always funny when people do that. They're like, watch the movie.
I'm
Stop
10 minutes
reviewing it.
in. I'm giving this a 3.
Yeah. Anyways, we are halfway into Braindead, and I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
Wow. Interesting.
Just kidding. I don't
bold.
know. I don't know
Okay.
if I can commit to that, but I'll tell you what I like about this movie. I like the direction from Adam Simon. It does remind me a lot of his style from Carnosaur, which he did after this movie. But we have this sort of, it looks like shot on film, and it looks like a darker, almost a blue tint.
Mm-hmm.
It feels low budget, but in a way, I don't mind. It doesn't look like cheap.
It
looks
doesn't.
good.
Yeah.
Even though the sets even look like fake sets, like even the set of the corporate office reminded me a lot of Carnosaur.
It honestly,
But I liked the look. I liked the aesthetic of it.
it all lends itself to a very surreal feeling while you're watching it. It
Yeah.
does feel like you're watching a movie set. And these sets definitely feel like movie sets.
Yeah.
And I feel like that makes it more surreal and dreamlike. Nothing is really what it seems because they're obviously sets in his brain.
I could see Adam Simon being inspired by Reanimator because it did have that sort of feel. You know,
Yeah.
not as kooky as that one. This is... There's like some mild humor to it,
Yeah.
but I would say it's very subtle.
Yeah.
It has like a almost like a dark. I don't know what's another movie that it reminds you of.
For me, it just reminded me of The Trial because it's
The
like
Trial.
it all feels
I
like
could see that. Yeah, the
it
Kafka,
just feels like a Kafka type, like
a dream.
That's
what you're saying.
Situation.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it reminds me of any specific movie at the moment, but it all just feels like you're stuck in this weird sardonic dream.
Yeah, I'm thinking of. Okay, so I only said that to give myself time to think of the movie that it reminded me
Got
of.
it.
Remember that movie where the guy goes in and he becomes an artist, and it's this sort of behavior modification. I want to say it's called Rounds. I need to look this up. So I think it's called Rounds.
Velvet
We've seen
Buzzsaw?
We've seen it together.
Oh, we did? There is a Tales from the Crypt story where a guy is an artist and he makes his masterpieces out of the blood of his victims. And it does have that kind of like surreal Tales from the Crypt kind of quality to it.
The movie that I'm thinking of is where a guy goes into a corporation and has his whole personality change.
Oh,
Yeah, and we've watched it together. I just can't think of the name of the movie. And I want to say Rounds, but I know that's wrong.
he goes into a corporation and his personality is changed. Do his memories change?
I think so. Seconds from 1966 with Rock Hudson. Okay, yes, that is the movie that I'm thinking of.
You know what this reminds me of?
Yeah, tell me which.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like all this like, brain prodding, trying to isolate bad memories and get rid of them. But then you get these moments that almost seem like deja vu or glimpses from something that never really happened.
Yeah.
And it could just be like your past self.
Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind is probably inspired by Braindead.
Yeah, because it's not like, overtly called lobotomy, but...
And the movie Passengers is also inspired by Braindead.
Which one? Yes, the newest one? Yes.
Let's get into predictions.
Prediction number 1. Rex Martin is going to wake up at a sanitarium.
Ooh, okay. So
And it's going to be like he took the place of Halsey and now Halsey is his doctor because Bill Paxton, aka Jim,
had that throwaway line.
When we first meet his character. And he's like, look at it this way. You could be on the table and Halsey could be your doctor. And then he cackles.
You can't get anything by us. We are just too good at this game.
Yeah. And Bill Paxton also has a very ham-fisted in a very lovable way of delivering pointed lines.
Like his character in Weird Science where he's just like a supreme butthead. He literally turns into a pile of shit.
I just mean that he has a very obvious way of communicating a message.
Yeah, I agree. Excellent prediction.
Okay. Next, it becomes implied that Rex Martin underwent brain sculpting. His job and wife were part of it. So he doesn't actually have this neuroscience job. And he's not married to the hottest, most smartest girl in school. That was part of his brain sculpting to place those memories there to make him feel happy about himself.
So it is the Seconds inspiration and the Total Recall thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 3, Dana is actually married to Jim, aka Bill Paxton. So all of those lines about how when we were in school, I got to marry Dana. It was actually Jim that got to marry Dana.
And guess what? She doesn't wear lingerie to bed every night. She wears
sweatpants like a normal person. Yeah.
And they're dingy. They have Dorito stains on them.
Why do they have to be dingy?
Because,
she's
it's
classy. She's
breaking the myth.
She's not eating Doritos in bed without brushing her
It was
teeth.
the 90s, baby. Everyone was eating Doritos in bed.
I was not eating Doritos in bed.
Well, then what were you doing?
Sleeping?
Oh, okay.
Next. Oh, okay, yeah. Dana's actually married to Jim and Rex Martin got a job at Conklin Mattress. So Rex is not a neuroscientist. He works at Conklin Mattress.
Man, you're really screwing it up for Rex Martin here.
Yeah, he has a really messed up life. And hence why he has to get brain sculpting surgery. And then number 4, Martin wakes up in the hospital bed. It was all a dream after his accident in the parking lot.
So that thing with the brains crashing never happened?
No.
Or does it not exist?
So when he gets hit in the parking lot and then he wakes up and all this weird stuff starts happening, but then it's kind of Inception style where it's okay, it's a dream within a dream kind of a thing. He's going to wake up again and be like, oh man, none of that happened. Those brains never went crashing down. I really did get hit by a car though. And I'm still married to Dana. But then my Whopper. He's going to wake up again
Wow.
and be a floating brain on a shelf,
Ooh, I love that.
but still cognizant of his existence.
And that one lackey assistant is still going to crash all of the shelves.
Yeah,
of
and
brains. So
maybe
that's gonna be
his
the final
name
scene.
is James Rafferty.
Yeah, that's what. Ooh.
Yeah, and actually, this is his face on the cover.
Wow, you
pulled
solved
apart.
it. All right, episode over. We're
Yeah.
out. Those are better than mine. I was on the same page a little bit, but yours were more coherent. I think when we were making the predictions, I scrawled these in like 3 seconds and I had 5 of them. And I was like, yep, uh-huh. And then after I was done, I made some other comment where
Yeah, you kept
got
saying,
upset at me.
yep. And I wasn't done. I wasn't even done with my first prediction. I was really taking my time.
Because you were actually thinking it through. I was just writing the first thing that came to my mind.
And I was just like, dang, did you just like figure it out immediately? And you're kind of like, over
I
there
feel like we
boring.
both did. I feel like we're on the right track
Yeah.
for this one. And while mine are similar to yours, they are not coherent and maybe contradict each other or contradict themselves. But I love what you wrote.
Thank you.
And so let's add what I wrote to
Okay.
that. And I think we got this one. So all of you out there who are playing along, did you get it? Did you get it?
Did we get it?
Did we get it? Yeah. Stop here and leave your letterbox review on this episode to see if we got it.
Too.
Okay, so my first prediction, and remember, these are right off the cuff, right after I saw it for the first time. His brain was swapped with a
Wait,
paranoia.
who's he? Who are you talking about?
Doesn't matter. Anyone. No, I'm talking
very
about Dr.
Kafka.
I know. Dr. Martin's brain was swapped with a paranoiac after the encounter with the dude in the parking lot car crash.
Okay.
So I think, yes, there is some brain swapping going on here. I like your idea of this whole, like, he's undergone the process that they've talked about. Because that is sort of like brain swapping in a way. It's like personality swapping. There will be another brain guy who is willing to do the dirty work for a Unis corporation. So I'm guessing that is
Like
Halsey.
Jim? Oh, Halsey.
Actually, I was
Yeah.
wondering if it was that other scientist, the guy who is like the one
who just
wanted
wants the
to-
brain stems.
Yeah, wants the brain stems.
Yeah.
So he ends up in Lakeside in a padded cell. That's what I think it's going to end as.
Oh, for sure.
Like
Yeah.
he's going to be the person who is paranoid. He was never a brain scientist. He was always a patient. So that aligns with yours.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really put together the whole behavior modification, or what do you call that? Like this sort of,
Sculpting.
yeah, sculpting, this personality sculpting. I like that angle a lot, and I'm sad that I didn't think about that. I think I've kind of thought about that, but not anyways.
Yeah.
And then Halsey is the brain guy, which I guess I thought of this afterwards, which is that doesn't make sense. Ignore that. Halsey's the brain guy. He's the doctor, and Rex has the numbers that they need.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe the inception was that Rex Martin is the patient and they actually need the numbers from Rex, and Halsey is the doctor. But in order to convince him to give up the numbers, they have to convince him that Dr. Martin is the doctor and not the patient. So it's almost like reverse psychology kind of thing.
Yeah.
But my Whopper was, I'm kind of saddened by my Whopper.
Oh no.
It's not that it's like maybe not going to happen, but it's kind of
It's not a Whopper.
not really a Whopper.
It's like a dud.
Yeah.
It's a milk
Maybe
dud.
I don't know, the other one was a Whopper. My Whopper is that no one will die in this movie. That in a way that is kind of a Whopper for a horror movie.
Yeah.
I mean, in your situation, yes, he does die because he ends up as a brain on the shelf.
He's not dead though, because according to
like he was always a brain on the shelf.
he was always a brain on the
Ooh.
shelf. That's my theory.
Very
is that-
Twilight Zone.
Yes. So it's like we have several like waking up from a dream moments, but then it turns out the entire movie has been in the brain of Rex Martin.
See, I love that idea. I think that is what happens when you stop, pause, and think before you write. And these predictions that I wrote are what happened when you just let it all come out like vomit.
Like stream of consciousness.
Yeah. So yeah, I said that no one will die in this movie. I feel like this is one of those psychological horror movies where, yeah, it's all in the mind.
Yeah, it's
No one is
literally
actually
all
going
in
to
the
die.
mind.
Yeah.
all in the brain. And you can't really kill the brain. If you even have a piece of it, if you just stick it in some gel, then it's fine. It'll still work to some extent. And that's my
Interesting.
thought, is that like he's a brain on this shelf and he probably has fallen off this shelf many times and then been
They
scooped
need to get a
back
better
up.
container for these
They
things.
really do.
Yeah,
Be-
secure
and-
the shelf to the wall at
And
least.
that's why subconsciously our main character, Rex, as a brain on a shelf, he's like, you guys really need to fix this system. Like, I hope that you are treating us as people because I am still very cognizant of my existence.
So it's for brain rights.
Brain rights.
Brain rights. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic predictions. I think you nailed it on this one. For those of you who have seen the movie,
Did I get it? Did I get
Yeah.
any of them?
that actually makes me really excited to see the second half of this movie. I am enjoying it. I do like Adam Simon's movies quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think he has this way of doing a lot with a lower budget.
Yes. Making
Yeah.
you think with a little budget.
Yeah, and if this is a cult classic, which I believe it is, I can see why, because it is really fun.
Very thought provoking.
Yes.
And all the brain puns you can think of.
Feeling pretty good about this. If it is different than what our predictions were, I'm going to be shocked.
I am too, and disappointed.
Yeah.
Simon.
But I am excited to see the second half of this movie, so let's stop it there and see ya in a few.
I'm going to take a new narrow pathway back to my living room.
Peace.
Hey, did you hear that? What? Storm's coming. A storm? A brainstorm. Shit, that's no storm. What is undersea monsters? What are they? Are they dangerous? Not to me, but then this is my brain. My dream. You can't get hurt in your own dream. But you, oh, you better watch.
Hello. We are back.
Hello? Why do you have to say hello?
Hi, everyone.
We already said hello.
Well, I'm saying hello again. Greetings. It's been a few days since we have finished Braindead.
And once again, you're spilling our secrets. This is the magic of movie magic.
because
right
we've
here.
obviously changed.
changed a lot.
We've
I've
changed
grown a beard.
lot. I put my
Yeah.
hair up. It's hot in here because it's the middle of summer. All right, we finally finished Braindead, and we left off where Bill Pullman, aka Rex Martin, was having a very awkward dinner with his wife and the chairman of Eunice Corporation and Bill Paxton, aka Jim.
Talk
And-
about a blown deal.
blown deal. And Jim's like, way to go, you dumbass. You'll never work again or something.
Yeah, so he's pouting his way home, and then he sees this hitchhiker on the road several times in a very familiar fashion, a la Passenger from 2026, which we just saw.
We just saw that.
But we didn't get that same jump scare from Passenger. Y'all know it if you saw the
Like,
trailer.
yeah. No, but he does show up in the back seat. And it's the man who's black and white and red all over that Halsey reported. And he doesn't have any black on him, which I found very confusing. I kept searching for the black. He doesn't even have black shoes or a black tie, nothing. He's mostly white with red all over. So I didn't appreciate that. But he's there infiltrating Dr. Martin's thoughts, and Dr. Martin speeds home, and somehow Dana, his wife, and Jim make it home before him and completely disrobe and are having sexual
Hot, sweaty
relations
sex on the table.
kitchen table.
Yep, we see a butt and a side boob
Unsanitary.
and some really like sweaty, slick back hair.
Pearls.
Pearl clutching for sure.
Clutching up pearls. And then the man who's white with red all over stabs their eyes out right in front of Dr. Martin. He's like,
Yeah.
no.
Can we just call him Mystery Man? I feel like if I have to say white with red all over, I'm going to keep fumbling over those words. Yeah.
Mystery cackling man.
I mean, we do know his name, although I forgot what his name is.
I don't
and we
know.
just saw it. It's something like,
He has many names.
I want to say his name is Remick, but I know that's the guy from Sinners.
I'm just going to call him Mystery Man because he has many roles in this movie.
But
as
they
we
do
will find out
refer to
later.
him by his name even later in the movie. His name is,
Man in a bloody white suit. That's
Interesting.
even more wordy.
no, Ramson.
He has Man in Bloody White Suit, Ramson, and Ed Conklin. He plays all three of these characters.
Okay,
throughout the
so let's
film.
just call him Mystery Man from
Mystery
here on out.
Man.
Yeah, because man in, what is it? Red and white and black all over? Or
Red and
black
white
and
and
white and red all over?
He says red.
He's like the
black
newspaper
and white
man.
and red all over. He's the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which would be funny if he really did sell newspapers because it would make the pun come full circle, but he doesn't.
He walks in on the wife and Jim.
Stabs their eyes out. And
with a lobotomy
with the lobotomy tool. Yeah. And Dr. Martin's like, no. But then he finds that he's clutching the lobotomy tool in his hand and it's bloody. And it's like, who did it? The mystery man or Dr. Martin? And then he wakes up.
I think we already have this suspicion. We're kind of like documenting all of these different dream states.
Yeah.
So he keeps waking up and waking up again from a dream and another dream. We actually tallied up these dreams. So we can kind of refer to these as dream 1, dream 2. Right?
Yeah. So now, okay, after he wakes up from his wife and best friend being killed, he wakes up into what we call dream 3.
So he wakes up at Lakeside. He's a patient this time.
Now he's a patient in dream 3 and his doctor is the mystery man. And he's like, what? So now he is Mr. Martin. He's no longer Dr. Martin and the mystery man's like, oh yeah, you have these dreams that you're a doctor. If that makes you feel better, go ahead and think that. And Bill Pullman's character is like, what's going on?
He's like, this is my office. I know exactly where the waste bin is.
Yeah. He's like, this is not my beautiful wife.
He did say, take my wife, take my life.
I like that line. He's like, take my life, take my wife, whatever.
So yeah, things are starting to get a little wacky for Mr. Martin or Dr. Martin here. He is fragmented. He's multiple personalities. He's living inside of these dreams and they're like these inception levels of his personality.
And in dream 3, Dr. Mystery Man says that you created Mr. Halsey. He's a fragment of yourself. So he's implying that Bill Pullman's character has like multiple personality disorder and that Mr. Halsey never existed. It's just part of himself fragmented off. Bill Pullman's character runs away, finds himself in a corridor full of sex-crazed women, and then he's recaptured by Dr. Mystery Man and shock therapized into the next
Shock therapized. Now, there's a new term that I had never heard before.
Shock therapized.
Therapized.
Into a new dream, into dream number 4. Wakes up in a hospital bed.
Who is he? We do not know. Time? Is he Halsey? Because in the last dream, he was Halsey.
Well, he's not Halsey in dream 4 because in dream 4, when he's in bed, cute little Halsey pops up. He's like, hiya, Dr. Martin or something like that.
Wait, in dream 3, is he Mr. Martin or is he Halsey? Because I think they're also calling him Halsey.
Okay, no. So in dream 3, he is Mr. Martin, but he created Halsey.
Got it. Okay.
Halsey is just a figment or a fragment of his own self.
Right.
So an actual Halsey does not exist in dream 3.
But then in dream 4, then
Halsey does exist.
Pops right up, right beside him.
And Martin's like, you know me? He's like, of course. They put all the psycho killers on the same floor. So in dream 4, Martin is a killer, but so is Halsey, and they're different people.
Yeah, and he knows what's going on. He's like, they're trying to convince us that we're the same person. He's like, whatever you do, don't let them take you into surgery.
Halsey escapes into the closet, and Martin's like, wait, come back here. And when he opens up the closet door, Halsey's dead with his eyes gouged out. Pop into dream 5. Boom.
Yeah, this dream 4 was a pretty quick dream.
Quick.
So, yeah, we're on to dream 5 now. And he wakes up again, the same hospital bed. So this one's sort of like a deja vu dream.
Yeah. And a cute little Halsey pops up again. And it's like, whoa, weird. This just happened literally like 3 seconds ago.
We get like a little bit of a comedic moment where it's like, is this happening right now? Are we who we say we are?
Yeah, Martin's like, have we done this before? And Halsey says, are we doing this now?
And they're kind of speaking in unison.
Yeah, it's so cute. It's like a really clever, quick, fast-paced like dialogue from here on out. And Martin and Halsey are they're not quite overlapping in their dialogue, but they are definitely in sync.
Dr. Martin, he's in a coma in this one. He kind of has like an out-of-body experience.
And his wife, Dana, walks into the room and overlooks his sleeping body and says, oh, you dummy. Why don't you look where you're going?
And who swoops in?
Jim.
Just like in While You Were Sleeping.
Just like in Ghost.
Did that happen in While You Were Sleeping?
No, Ghost.
Oh.
happens in Ghost. Yeah. So
no one comes in and swoops in on Bill Pullman and while you're sleeping? Is he the one who's sleeping?
no, he's not sleeping.
Is he the one who swoops in on the
kinda
person who...
swoops
Okay,
in.
so yes.
Yeah,
so this
so-
is payback.
And while you were sleeping, Bill Pullman's brother is sleeping, aka Peter Gallagher.
Wow, that's toxic.
Yeah, Peter Gallagher is in a coma, aka his brother.
Peter Gallagher?
Yeah, the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sandra Bullock's like, I love you, Peter Gallagher. And then Bill Pullman's like, I love you, Sandra Bullock. And Sandra Bullock's like, I actually love you too, Bill Pullman.
Wow. So these movies could be in the same universe.
Same universe,
Yeah.
definitely. Mr. or Dr. Martin is like, dang it, Jim's swooping in on my wife. I'm going to go into this closet now. But when he goes into the closet, it's like open sky and he almost plunges to his death. And he does eventually like fall into the sky.
So
and
it's
falls
starting
into
to
the
get
ocean.
surreal as we get
Very
into
surreal.
Dream 5.
Yeah, he falls into the ocean and then he sees Halsey again, who's having a whale of a time. He's like, ha ha, a storm's coming, a brainstorm, a hilk. He's like, beware of the underwater sea creatures, aka the id of me. And he's like, don't worry, it can't kill me, but it can kill you. Can't kill me though, because it's my brain. And then all of a sudden he's dragged underneath by his own id sea monster. And I found this scene so funny. I just feel like Bud Cort's performance as Halsey or any iteration of Halsey is very entertaining. Ha ha ha. And then Martin washes ashore.
Well, okay, this was a really clever transition too, because it's like he's washes ashore, he's on the beach, and as the waves crash and hit him in the face, he's then hit in the face with a water bucket. We're in the next dream. Also, you know, we're interpreting these dreams. We don't really know
There
exactly
could
what's
be
going
more,
on,
but
they're
we're
just like these
guessing this is
scenes.
Dream 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's in front of the restaurant Yen, where he had that ill-fated dinner with the chairman of Eunice Corporation, Jim and Dana. And the manager was like, you better get out of here. You know, good Nick.
Better get out of here, you know, good Nick.
You better get out of here.
You better scram over
I'm
to
gonna
the
call the
Beaumont
cops.
building. Dr. John Halsey.
So he does go to the Beaumont building. He's like, this is my office. And then he gets a phone call from the mystery man. And the mystery man says, hello, Dr. Halsey. And Martin's like, I'm not Halsey. And
He's like, do you got the numbers?
mystery man's like, well, you answer Halsey's phone. So you must be Halsey. I'll be there in a second. Very cryptic. And Martin like looks at his chalkboard, lots of numbers on the chalkboard. And it's like, whoa, what did I do? I'm like Goodwill Hunting over here. Crazy.
Now he has these goons after him and he's running away. He ends up outside of the Eunice Corporation again, bumps into that same guy in the parking lot.
The mystery man?
No, like the unhoused man.
Oh, the unhoused man.
And he's like, you know me, right? You know me. And he's like, I don't know you from Adam. It is like really sort of surreal how this plays out. There's like a scene with Jim in the car, but he has no emotions. He's like,
Yeah.
I call him Robot Jim. And he's like, it's just bad dreams. And then Mr. Conklin, who is the mystery man, is in the back seat and he's Eunice security. It's all over the place. It's getting really weird. It's getting really surreal.
Yeah.
But they end up getting him again and they take him back to the scene that we saw before the break where they're
The
operating
surgery
on the
room.
brain, the open brain surgery.
Yeah,
in that
so
like
now
weird
Halsey
white
is not.
padded room.
Yeah, Halsey's not in the patient seat. Now Martin is in the patient seat, just like Halsey was, and his surgeon is the man in white. And he says something like, Changju said that he didn't know if he was a butterfly dreaming he was a man, or if he was a man dreaming he was a butterfly. And he was like, "What do you think you are? Are you just a butterfly dreaming that you're a man?" And then they're like, burn out the core because he doesn't know the numbers. And then burns out the core. Boom, dream number 7. Now Martin is speeding down a windy road and he crashes into himself from earlier, right before we cut.
Wow, mind blown.
Yeah. So who runs over Martin? He does.
Okay, at this point you said now we're outside of the dream, but that is an interpretation. We could still be inside of a
We
dream. We
could.
really don't know.
But my theory is that when he gets hit by himself with the car, then boom, he wakes up. I feel like that's we're outside of the dream just because the way that the camera pans back and we're overlooking Dr. Martin.
He's like in the operating room. He's got the blue cloth over his head and he's talking to the mystery man who's now the doctor that's operating on his brain again. But this time it's not really to
No, the mystery man's not
conduct an
operating on his
experiment.
brain. Somebody else is.
Oh, I thought that was the same guy. It's some other doctor
It's a
guy.
totally different doctor. So the mystery man is gone.
But he is himself in this scene.
He is himself.
He's got the ice cream head and he's lucid, even
Can
though
you
his brain
explain
is.
what you mean by ice cream
That
head?
means like it's like his brain is like an ice cream scoop and his head is the cone. That's an ice cream head. I thought that was pretty self-explanatory.
You kept saying
It's like his full brain is out.
I was just feeling that like people wouldn't understand what you meant by ice cream head. That could have been like a really small moment in which we actually saw real life. And then when he goes back into his comatose dream state during the surgery, we see him walking around the hospital despondent with like, Frankenstein head. He's got the bandages, really tall hair. And he goes into the bathroom. And
you know something's up when their head gets way more elongated and there's obviously like a wig on top.
Yes.
It's like all covered with the bandage.
yes, so I feel like this is dream number 8 when he's walking around with the Frankenstein head. And he goes into the bathroom and then out of one of the stalls comes Halsey and he's dressed in a white lab coat and he's obviously a doctor in this 8th dream. They say nothing to each other. Halsey leaves the restroom and that's when Martin decides to rip off his bandage and his hair and his scalp and skull.
This is when he has an egg head.
And several butterflies living inside his skull.
So is he a butterfly dreaming that he's a man? Is he a man dreaming that he's a butterfly?
Is he just a butterfly habitat? I don't know.
But then he looks through the double window and Dana is still there with Jim and the assistant. He's
They're
dying.
like, what are the numbers? His vitals. And we're like, oh, we hear that line. What are the numbers? And so we start to think that throughout the movie, when the people of Eunice Corporation are asking for the numbers, it's really someone outside of Jim or outside of Martin's dream asking for the numbers of his vitals. not the
Possibly.
equation.
That's one interpretation.
That's my interpretation. is
Because
that-
there is stuff that happened before he got hit by the car. So, I mean, there's lots of interpretations that you could have of this movie, but I feel like we should save it because we're almost at the end here.
Okay. All right. So we're still in Dream 8. Dana is watching Martin comatose and then flatline. He dies and a little butterfly perches on the tip of his skull. And then
And a janitor comes and just like starts mopping up.
He's like, well, party's over. Time to mop up. And the surgeon says to Dana, well, at least he didn't feel any pain and walks away. I'm like, terrible bedside manner. And then Jim scoops Dana away and they're going to go live happily ever after somewhat. And then into Dream 9, we hear a voiceover of Martin and he's like, oh man, I'm dead. But wait, I'm still thinking. I think this is interesting, implying I think, therefore I am, aka he's not dead.
And he's a
Credits.
brain on the shelf. Run credits.
He is a floating brain on this shelf.
Am I dreaming? Or is this death? I'm dead. Great. I'm dead, I think.
How many times have you had a dream you're like, this is amazing, I had to write this down immediately? And then
you never do.
And then you wake up and you're like, this makes no sense. This is complete nonsense.
I think I try to keep a dream journal for maybe just once, and I wrote down one dream, and that was it.
Oh, I did have a dream journal in high school. I had, I think, like 5 dreams written down. I'm like, these are gold. And I
5?
always,
That's pretty good.
I wrote them down right when I woke up. I'm like, this is amazing. It's going to be an amazing script. And I read them later. I'm like, this makes no sense. Utter nonsense. But when you're in that state between like being fully awake and in your dream state, you think that it all makes complete sense. And I feel like that's kind of what we saw throughout the film, is that like there were several moments that kind of made sense, but not entirely.
Yeah. Did you
Indeed.
enjoy the film?
I did.
I enjoyed it as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely not a scary film. There are some scenes that are horrific in a way.
Yeah.
If you're into like eye stuff, eyes being gouged out.
Eyes gouged out, a guy with a little bloody lobotomy stick.
So if lobotomies and paranoia scare you, then there might be some scares in here. Otherwise, it's more of like a psychological. I saw
thriller.
I saw it described as a psychological sci-fi horror. So getting into our predictions, I feel like we were on track and we had a pretty good sense that this was going to end up like something in a dream or in his mind.
Okay, so I had a prediction that Rex Martin would wake up at the sanitarium and kind of take the place of Halsey. That happens at least once in one of those dreams. So I'm going to say +1.
I had a prediction where his brain was swapped with the guy from the parking lot after the crash. That didn't happen, but that would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Because it would have made sense if this guy who's just like lingering around Uniscorp was a prior subject of brain experimentation. And when he's saying like, hey, that's my brain, he actually meant it. I did also predict that there will be another brain guy who's willing to do the dirty work. In a way, yeah, there was another brain guy. There were a couple.
What do you mean by brain guy?
There were a couple. There was the guy who like stole his office in one of the dreams.
Okay, yeah.
And there's Halsey, who is another brain guy. And there's the mystery man who is also like, they all end up taking these different roles.
Up being like brain surgeons.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know if I can give myself a full point for that.
Go ahead.
But maybe.
Why not? There's another brain guy. I said it becomes implied that Rex Martin underwent brain sculpting. His job and wife were part of the brain sculpting. That didn't quite happen.
It did seem like it was going to head in that direction. Like this was going to be a sort of Total Recall script.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like, oh, he never was married to Dana. Jim was married to Dana, but he wanted to be married to Dana. And so that's why the first half of the film I thought was going to be a brain sculpting scenario.
Yeah,
it was.
It very easily could have been a Total Recall thing where it's like the whole thing was a dream or like a fantasy, but it did do something slightly different.
Yeah.
And slightly more weird and surreal, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. And then my next one went right into that. I said that Dana is actually married to Jim and Rex Martin got a job at Conklin Mattress. So in one of the dream scenarios, Dana was not married to Jim, but Martin was working for Conklin Mattress because he was Halsey.
Yeah.
Half?
Yes.
Thank you.
Half a point. So then I had a prediction that he ends up in Lakeside in a padded cell. That was kind of a generic prediction, but yeah, he did. He ended up being the patient. He ended up being the guy who had the ice cream cone head, like I said before. Yeah,
and I said that Martin would wake up in a hospital bed and everything was a dream after his accident.
That's kind of what we surmised, right? Everything after his accident ended up putting him down this dream state. Now you could argue that the whole thing was a dream and the whole thing was in his brain. I
wanted the whole thing to be a dream, but it wasn't.
You still could possibly interpret it that way.
I really feel like the first half of the movie was real. And after his accident, everything was mostly a dream with the exception of like one scene.
I had the prediction that he was never a brain scientist. He was always a patient. In one of the dreams, yes, he was the patient. In a couple of dreams, he was the patient. So, yeah, that kind of happened.
Let's do half a point because I wouldn't say that he was never...
3/4 of a point.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that he was never a doctor.
Yeah.
I really feel like he was definitely a doctor for at least the first half. But yeah, in the second half, there were definitely scenarios in which he was not a doctor.
All right, I'll give myself half a point there.
And then my whopper was that Martin will see the man in white and it's his doctor, his brain sculptor. And Rex is a floating brain on a shelf, still cognizant of his existence. Maybe he got a final "there but for the grace of God go I" from Bill Paxton. That quote did not come up again, but there was...
That's all one prediction?
Yeah, that's my whopper.
Is it basically just like he's a brain on the shelf? Just keep that part.
He's a brain on the shelf?
Because he does meet the man in the white.
The man in white does become his brain sculptor at one point.
Is he but the brain sculpting never actually happens.
But he is like his brain surgeon.
I know, but brain sculptor implies that he's the one who's doing behavior modification and memory.
Yeah, he burns out the core.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's sculpting.
Okay, 1 point.
I'll do half a point.
That's like 3 predictions in one.
Well, it was my Whopper. It had to be grand.
No,
So
you
it's
have you have to get 1 point. I mean, you got it. He's a brain on the shelf. I feel like that is the closest that we got to something that actually happened in the movie. So you got to give yourself a full point for
He's
that.
a brain on the shelf, and the man in white was a brain sculptor at one point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about you?
It's better than mine, which is Halsey is the brain guy and Rex has the numbers they need.
Halsey was the brain guy at one point.
That's like a half point.
Yeah. No, Halsey was the
How
brain
many
guy.
predictions did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, I had 6 predictions. I'm cheating again.
Why are you cheating?
I don't know how to count.
Oh, you just got really excited.
Anyways, my last one is that no one will die. Only lobotomies in this movie.
In a way, no one died.
Maybe, I don't know, kind of. Yeah, maybe Dr. Martin died at the end because
No,
he
he
ended up being a
didn't die
brain, or
because
maybe
he was still a
dead the whole
cognizant
time.
brain.
He could have, yeah, I don't know.
He said, I think.
Therefore, I am.
He didn't say therefore I am, but he did imply therefore I am.
Let's just give ourselves the points of like, yes, nobody died.
Nobody
in a
died.
way, and he ended up being a brain on the shelf in the end. So that these are wins for us. These are
Yes.
great predictions.
These are excellent.
I
did
feel
a
like we were
great
in the
job.
ballpark. I'm gonna give myself 3 points here.
Yeah, I had 3.5, 3.5.
All right. So Aleece is the winner of Braindead.
I won Braindead. Yay, by half a point.
This script was an old script from the 60s. So that's why it kind of has the feeling of being a Twilight Zone episode. The script was from a writer named Charles Beaumont, who I'm not familiar with, but I do know the Twilight Zone, and it definitely has that feel. He did a novel called The Intruder, another film that Roger Corman had made, which starred William Shatner. And in the late 80s, Julie Corman, Roger Corman's wife, had a bunch of interns reading through just like hundreds of scripts and to find the best one to produce the next movie. And they came up with Braindead, and they offered this to Adam Simon. I don't know the reason why they offered it to Adam Simon, but he does talk about this in an interview with one of our friend podcasters, Eric Hansen from Cradle to the Grave. It is an episode about the movie Carnosaur, which is another Adam Simon movie.
And we covered Carnosaur 1, 2, and 3.
And he talks about his influences for Braindead and also talks about Carnosaur. So you're interested in that movie as well. And he credits Philip K. Dick, H.P. Lovecraft, and a movie by the director Sam Fuller, which is called Shock Corridor from the 60s as his main influences for the film. All right, getting into our awards for Braindead. Aleece, let's start off with the Axe Award. What element, character, or anything from this movie would you give the axe to? What are you cutting?
Initially, I was going to cut one of the awful lab lackeys that...
How could you cut that? That's amazing.
There were 2 different lab lackeys that dropped brains. And I was like, okay, we don't need both of them. But one of them I thought was, okay, that one of them was real life, the one guy that dropped one brain. And then when you're in a dream, everything that happened to you in your real life gets accentuated. So it makes sense that there's some even worse lab assistant that drops 2 whole walls worth of brains. That makes sense. So I will let it slide. I will not omit the lab lackeys. Instead, I will omit or add really the mystery man when what's his face? Halsey keeps saying that he's black and white and red all over. He did not have a stitch of black on him.
You're really fixated
and that
on the black.
really bothered me. Give him some black shoes or a black tie or something. But the fact
Isn't that just like a newspaper thing?
Yeah, I
What's
know.
black and white and red all over?
I know.
Newspaper.
Give him a newspaper then. Put a newspaper under his arm. But the fact that he didn't even have any black on him at all and he had no association with a newspaper, I was really upset. So
Wow.
he was really just
But the
white.
details that bother you.
Yeah, that really bothered me.
Well,
because they said it several times. I'm like, okay, say it once. And if you're going to say it several times, make it make sense.
I'll tell you a detail that bothered me, which I'm going to give my axe award to. And this is a work safety detail. That shelf, that metal shelf that really needs to be bolted to the wall or come up with a better system
So
to secure.
you didn't like the crashing of the brains either. That really bothered me.
I thought that was one of the best moments. I laughed so hard when the full rack of brains fell. However, it still didn't stop
So
me from
messy.
thinking about like, they couldn't have just bolted that thing down to the wall or put some sort of bar or some sort of security method for
No, because that was in
securing
his
these brains.
dream. So
even before he got into the dreams, they were still storing these brains in the same way in these like cookie jars.
Like a very precarious, foolish method.
Yeah.
I do not approve of this.
Put the brain in a glass jar, but then put that into something that's padded.
I mean, these are scientists and they couldn't have come up with a better solution for storing these brains. And especially how concerned Dr. Martin was for all of these brains. He's like, they're who, not a what, they're people. Then take care of them better.
Exactly.
You are a neglectful brain owner.
I'm calling OSHA on you.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Good.
Okay, so next award goes to the first aid kit. What character who got offed gets to come back?
No one died.
That's the thing. I wrote also like nobody died, but then I said Dr. Martin ? By default, because he did end up as a brain in the end.
But you can't like bring him back because that is what made everything come full circle. Like he cared so much about this brain family that he had. It just is so fitting for him to become a brain in the end.
Yeah. So he's not going to wake up from being a brain on the shelf and be like, it was
man,
all it was all a dream.
crazy.
I guess I better go see this Halsey guy now.
I liked him being a brain on the shelf at the end. So honestly, I would pick nobody, but I do have a spleen stealer.
Okay, so adding the next category, which is the spleen stealer, which I was not aware of, so I did not prepare one, but Aleece has
you
one.
You always know that it is an option. So if you have an idea for a spleen stealer, you can pick somebody.
I have one. Yes, I had thought of one just now.
You did just now? Good. Okay. Well, my spleen stealer goes to Mrs. Halsey. When Halsey is in his dreamlike state being prodded in his brain and he's on the beach and he sees his bloody dead family, he sees his daughter, his son, and his wife. My spleen stealer goes to Mrs. Halsey, played by Deirdre O'Connell. And I just really like her line delivery. It just seems so almost like slightly pained and confused, almost drunk and very dreamlike. And I liked the way that she did this.
All right. So my spleen stealer is going to that lady who's saying like, look at me, as they walk into Lakeside.
Look at me, I'm dancing.
Because that's exactly what I would do if I were living there.
That's what you do if you're in this
like
movie.
Literally stealing the scene. She's trying to say like, hey,
she's
pan the camera over here
and
look over here, look over here,
and
look
the
over
camera
here.
never panned over.
Damn
it. Poor lady.
Oh well.
Moving on to the second kidney, Tony. Who would get your award for a spin-off or sequel?
The second kidney award is going to James Rafferty, who is the brain in the jar. What's his deal? He is the brain who gets thrown up into the air after that confrontation with that guy in the parking lot.
The brain that is probably the most likely dead.
Well, so Dr. Martin is carrying a brain, not in any container, just in the glass jar, walking it out to the parking lot.
Not
has his confrontation,
sealed or anything.
Nothing, no precautions. Has that confrontation with the guy in the parking lot who's like, "That's my brain. Give me my effing brain."
Yeah.
And then it goes flying in the air, smash, and they linger on the brain with the name tag of James Rafferty. But in my spin-off, we see the life of James Rafferty, and the movie has this like surreal kind of dream within dream, all kinds of stuff, backstory. What do you call those? The narrators that are not very good ones. Unreliable narrators, all that, dream sequences, Inception, and then boom, when it ends, we're back in the parking lot, smash on the pavement.
When we're watching this spinoff, do we know it's a spinoff of Braindead?
No.
We find out at the very end. And so for anybody who has seen Braindead from 1990, this cult classic.
Yep. You'll know what we're talking about.
They'll be like, whoa, I can't believe that. That has always been a dream of mine, to like watch a movie that I think is like original content. And the very end, it's like, boom, I'm a sequel to Hard Eyes.
I think you were hoping for that in other episodes. I'm sure we could trace back and find out your cockamamie predictions.
One day I will watch a movie thinking it's original. And then at the very end, they're going to be like, whoa, this was a sequel or a spinoff to Cloverfield, which that happened a few times in Cloverfield.
Actually, yeah, that's probably the most likely movie for something like this to happen.
My second kidney goes to Bud Cort, who plays Halsey. He's going to be in a Silence of the Lambs type of situation, but it's directed by the Coen brothers. So it's going to be like a really quirky Silence of the Lambs where Halsey is like Hannibal Lecter, but like, hey, yeah, am I here? Who knows? But I'll help you out with this, mister. You know, I just really liked all of his line delivery. Bud Cort passed away this year in February at the age of 77. So R.I.P. Bud Cort. But I would have liked a Silence of the Lambs type of spinoff with him.
All right, moving on to our next award. We have our Best Intestines Award. Aleece, what is getting your Best Intestine, which is the award for saddest or most gut-wrenching death? Even though no one died in the movie.
I'm giving into that wall of brains that came crashing down because I was very annoyed.
All of those souls.
I was annoyed by all of these
It doesn't say most annoying death. It says saddest,
super annoyed.
best, or gut-wrenching.
I was really wrenched. My nerves were wrenched when all of these brains went crashing down. What a mess. All that glass and gelatin and brain matter mixed together. Ugh. Disgusting. How about you?
I gave it to Halsey's family at the beach. That image of the mom and the two kids on the rocks at the beach with Halsey in his sort of like, I don't know, that like operating thing with the bracing his head in the chair, all of that. The whole scene was like kind of creepy.
It was creepy.
It was cool and creepy at the same time. So
and
that's what we
they were dead. So I guess that's a good one. Nice. Yeah. All right, your silver gut. What gets the award for second best element or person thing of the movie?
My silver gut goes to Bud Cort as Halsey, which I think he did an amazing job. I really enjoyed his performance. It was quirky. He displayed paranoia very well, and it was captivating.
Yeah.
It was very entertaining.
I really enjoyed it as well. My silver gut goes to the writing because there are so many little one-off or one-liners or I don't know, two-liners that went really well together. Like when Martin said, "Am I here?" or "Are we really having this conversation?" What was the line? "Have we done this before? Are we doing this now?" There are so many quick little one or two-liners that happen like that. So I'm going to give it to the writing. Good job. Originally Charles Beaumont and then
yes, I agree. Very good.
Adapted by Adam Simon.
All right, and now finally for our coveted Golden Gut Award, Aleece, what is the best element of Braindead from 1990?
Bud Cort as Halsey. I loved him. He was so cute and quirky. I actually, on our second watching of this, that dream, I think it's a dream number 6, when they fall into the ocean and Martin finds Halsey in the ocean and Halsey's having a great time swimming around. And he's like, "Don't worry, the sea monster can't get me." And then he's like, "Ah."
That's a good moment.
It gets pulled underneath and blood spurts up from beneath. So funny. I really loved his performance. He's so cute and quirky.
Agreed. What I really loved about this movie was the way that it was shot. And I love these clever transitions, the dream transitions and the surreal aspect of it. So I guess you could say maybe it was the cinematography and the direction.
Well, you gave it to the
I gave it to the
right?
the clever transitions. Is that like, that's got to be like a editing direction? It's got to be the director.
It's like everything, you know. It's like you're writing the script and you have to keep all of these different dreams in your head while you're writing it, and you have to have all of that in mind while you're editing and directing each scene and transitioning from one scene to the next. And there are like 9 different dream states going on here.
So maybe I'm giving it to Adam Simon in a way.
Yeah.
So he's getting my golden gut. Bravo. I loved this movie. I thought it was amazing. And yeah, that's getting my golden gut. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to our blockbuster rating. Aleece, is this a staff pick, a main shelf, a dollar rental, a bargain buy and keep, or a back alley dumpster?
You know, I'm going to stick this on the main shelf.
I agree. I'm also going to stick this on the main shelf very prominently next to Twister and Weird Science.
In between the two bills?
Yeah, in between the two bills. Well, I just went both Bill Paxton. So it's going to be in between, what'd you say, Miss Congeniality? No.
While
you were sleeping,
yes.
And Twister.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it Near Dark What other horror movie
There
has
was
Bill
a
Pullman been in? Independence
Club
Day.
Dread.
Oh, Club Dread. Yeah. No, that's
Yes.
Bill Paxton.
I know. We're trying to think of other Bill Paxtons, right?
I was trying to think of one that was Bill Pullman and one that's Bill Paxton.
Okay.
But a horror movie. So we have Near Dark.
Yeah, Near Dark and Club Dread for Bill Paxton.
Okay.
And then Bill Pullman has Mr. Wrong. That was kind of scary.
Mr. Wrong.
Because he was
Independence
stalking
Day,
Ellen
that's-
DeGeneres. Yeah, Independence Day is probably better. Mr. Wrong was kind of scary, though.
He has to have been in another horror movie, right?
I don't know if he was.
Oh.
His son was in the remake of Salem's Lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll put it next to the remake of Salem's Lot. Although that doesn't get main shelf. No, that's like a back alley dumpster or maybe a buy and keep.
For a different episode.
And then for your IMDb rating, did you rate this? Did you give it a rating?
I didn't give it a rating yet.
I gave it a solid 4 out of 5 stars.
I think
Check it
that's
out.
fair.
If you like Roger Corman movies, this is a great watch. If you like things that are psychological, mind-bending, not super scary like
If
you were
you
saying.
like quirky performances that you might see in a Coen Brothers type movie, then give it a whirl.
Yeah, but a pretty solid movie. I can see why this is a cult classic. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I finally got to see it.
Yeah, I as well. You know what I would have liked? To see more of like the stretched out face. We only got to see it in the very beginning.
We did think that
And
the
it's-
stretched out face was going to
We
end
thought
up
it was
being
gonna
Bill
come
Pullman.
up. Yeah. And
Dr.
we
Martin.
only saw it in the very beginning, but I wanted to see more of that stretched face. Oh, well.
Oh,
It was
well.
cool.
That's going to be in the
That's
remake,
yeah.
in the sequel. All right. Well,
Was there a lesson that you learned?
the lesson that I learned is
Anchor your brains to the wall.
exactly. If you're storing brains in your office, come up with a good system so that if they accidentally drop or fall, it's not going to just destroy everything.
Yeah. Don't be irresponsible. Don't be an irresponsible doctor. Anchor your brains to the wall.
So that about does it for this episode. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, follow, give us a rating. You can send us an email at guttedhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. We need your input for more 1990 movies, horror movies,
from
particularly from 1990.
Or 91, because that year is coming up.
Yeah, so if there's any movie that you love from that year that you would like us to cover, then we would be happy to cover it. I think we mentioned some on our previous episode of
Like
the
Pacific
movies that
Heights.
formed us from 1990. I don't know why you keep mentioning Pacific Heights. That seems more like a thriller than a horror movie.
I don't care. It's in the umbrella and I want to watch it.
All right, well, if you have a horror movie recommendation from 1990 that you would like us to cover, please let us know, DM us, and we will be happy to cover it.
Yeah. Also, I was trying to have like 90s bangs in the first half of this, but it got really sweaty. And that's why we don't have continuity. Just want you to know.
Yes, that's exactly the reason why. Not because we filmed this a couple of days later.
We filmed it a few days later. And also, it's really hot in here. We are trying to look into getting an AC unit that's quiet. So we're not.
I don't know. Yeah, if you have a suggestion for an AC unit,
If you
send us our
have
way.
a suggestion on how to film with a quiet AC unit, please let us know.
If you have a suggestion on how to film a podcast or just how to improve our podcast
We
in
will
general,
take your suggestions.
yeah, we'll take any and all suggestions. All right. Thank you so much for listening. If you've gotten this far, we really appreciate it.
And watching.
And thank you for listening and watching.
If you saw my bangs, thank you for watching.
If you saw Aleece's bangs, throw up a what kind of emoji? The nails.
Are there emojis that have bangs?
Maybe like a gif of what's her name? Gail Weathers.
Gail Weathers.
What's her name?
Yes, Gail Weathers bangs.
All right. This has been a long outro. Thank you for watching and or listening. This has been another episode of Got It.